So just one more feature and one polish issue that I saw. So I'm going to go to the Network tab and disable the cache, and then I'm going to hit Reload. So you see, you get all these really small squares, and then they fill in when the thumbnail image gets loaded and everything gets resized. And if you scroll to the end, it does the same thing. It's just really messy and not very appealing. And this is easy to fix. So if I right click on one of these thumbs and inspect it, the thumbnail image itself is 128 by 128, and then the box that holds it is class thumb, and it doesn't have a width or a height on it. So it starts out small until the browser knows how big this is, and then it gets resized. So what I'm going to do instead is in my gallery content in the CSS, for the thumb box that holds the image, I'm going to set the width to 128 pixels and the height to 128 pixels. So that way it will display these boxes at the proper size even before the image is loaded. And if I go to the top and hit reload now, yeah, so it just shows all the boxes the right size, and then it fills in the boxes with the images as they get loaded. So that's a little fix. Enable caching again and reload. Yeah, so much better. So that was a minor thing, but then a more major thing I want to do is I want to provide the ability to browse. Actually, let me log in as myself. So that was mgadmin. Log in as Mark. So when I click on one of these images, owner, I should be able to click on the owner to browse the gallery for that owner. And I already have all the SQL code and the PHP support for that. All I need to do is in this gallery content here, when this gets loaded, it calls fetch gallery. And fetch gallery is just passing an empty for the owner key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable owner, which is initially empty. And then here I'm going to specify plus owner plus that. And then since this could be have HTML funny characters in it that aren't good for URLs, I'm going to include URI of owner so that it gets properly escaped. And then if I just reload with that unset, I just get the regular stuff. So Mark X61 and Mark and everybody else. But now if I change owner here, so here's the images for Mark. Now I'm just getting Mark's images. So these are all my images. And let's look at Mark X61. So there's the images for Mark X61. So what I want to do is I want to provide a way to change the owner when the user clicks on the owner in the image view, and then clear out all of the content of the gallery, and then call fetch gallery again. So this is going to be just like when the user logs out, logs back in, and it does this part here. So I'm going to call it user change after changing the owner. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to pass another callback into my show gallery. And it's going to set the owner and then call user change. So here's where I'm calling show image view, and here's my function for update, here's my function for delete, and here's my function for changing the user. And this time I have to pass in a parameter, which is going to be the new owner. And I'm going to set owner equal new owner. And then I'm going to call user change. Then in my gallery, in my image view, where I draw the owner, and that's up here, instead of setting the text, I'm going to set the HTML, and I'm going to provide a span with an ID equal owner span. And then after the owner, I'm going to close that span. And then I'm going to make this thing hoverable. So when you hover over it, you get the thumb. So down here, let me add owner span hover pointer. So reload, and then pop this up. Oh, it's cursor pointer. Let's try that. There we go. So when you hover over that, you get the cursor pointer. And then when you click on it, I want to do something. So after I've set that, # owner span click is a function and I need my owner change callback. I'm going to call owner change callback, and I'm going to pass in image set dot owner key. And then since I just changed the gallery, I might as well get rid of this image view so they can see the new gallery. So that's going to be like here in the delete method. Like so. Okay, so that should change the gallery. So I'm going to reload so I have everybody. So here's mine and here's Mark X61's. Click on that. Click on Mark. Now I just have Mark's images. And then reload. Click on this. Click on that. Now I just have Mark X61's images. So to make it a little clear that that's clickable, I'm going to also change the color. So let's make this color green. Actually, that was the hover, so well, let me set the owner span to color green, and then leave the hover the same. Okay, so now I can change the gallery, and to show that the gallery is a gallery for user, I want to change this header. So let me go back to my main page, index.php, and I'm going to get rid of this box. I don't really need it anymore. And then I'm going to attach an ID to this, ID equal main header. And then in my change user, in gallery content, actually I'm going to put this in fetch gallery. So in fetch gallery, if owner equal 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 empty, then main header dot HTML is welcome to generic share. Else main header dot HTML is image gallery for owner. And actually I just want to set the text because I'm displaying the owner's name, and if the owner has funny HTML in their name, then I'm open to cross-site scripting attacks. So I just want to display this as text. All right, so reload. Welcome to generic share. Image gallery for Mark. So now I need a way to get back to the main gallery, and I'm going to use this thing right here for that. So I'm going to make this thing clickable, and when they click on it, it's going to change the owner and then reload the gallery. So that's in the navbar content. So in the HTML, here's my left item, and I'm going to make this clickable. So if you reload and you hover over this, it lights up. And then I have to attach a click handler. So what was that called? So I need an ID here. ID equal main button. Or I'll call that home button. So here's where I'm attaching the other click handlers. I'll go ahead and attach a home button handler as well. And then basically I want to handle this similarly to how I handled login and register. So anytime the user change happens. So in the gallery, I have an event listener on the document for user change that calls user change. I'm going to add another one called home, so a home event. And then here I'm just going to set user, or owner rather, to empty and then call user change. So now if I give a trigger a home event in the nav bar, that should do the right thing. So here's my home button, and I'm going to say document.trigger home. So reload and click mark generic share. And that's it for this project. I hope you've enjoyed it and learned something useful.